Hi all, welcome back to D&D at Peleliu. This is my take 2 part 16. I have just came straight back. The deck is reshuffled, we have no cards left. We're moving on to turn 10. Now, got to also think about the night turn coming up. Well, maybe we need to think about it closer to 30. It's turn 13, isn't it? Yeah, I think we can leave that, but catastrophic loss limit is 20. We have 14, so sort of not the best, I don't think. And we've took a little bit of a chance in moving along here, so I'm not sure. It took me a while to decide to do it. However, it's done now. Okay, and nothing more to say. I still didn't get any extra reply from Martin regarding that disruption thing, but I'm pretty sure it's alright. Well, to be honest, the whole barrage thing just went down the toilet anyway. We never got any result at all from it. So if he comes back and says no, you can't do that, it wouldn't have mattered, I don't think. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Okay, shall we get going? Yeah, because I'm curious to see what's going to happen here. So no landings to do. Yeah, no landings and no setup for next turn landings to do. So straight on to the event card. Right, this is turn 10. Deck's all nicely been shuffled up, I hope. Smoke, well, you know what, it's not a bad event. Smoke prevents Japanese Fire Beach hexes from red and green. There's nobody in the beach. Oh, there is. There's 2 units in the beach hexes. Red and green. I don't think it's going to matter again, is it? That's sitting in purple and brown. Purple's still disrupted anyway, so that's fine. And then this guy is sitting in. He's sitting in red and green, but we have green and red anyway. So yeah, and that's only 2 beach hexes. So yeah, we can just ditch that. But that's fine. It's not a bad event, like I say. It didn't help us at all, but it didn't hinder us, which is more important, I think. Okay, Japanese fire card. Here we go. Well, it's not got green, that's initially what I was looking for. And I'll tell you what else, it's not got blue. I mean, okay, that's a good part about it, but I'm sure some of this is going to be bad, because we've got the A action. Right, and no artillery, so that's good. Okay. So, lots of good things initially. Right, the red A. So, we've got a red position down here. Now, yeah, well, this is going to be the first one to check, right, isn't it? This is not an artillery position. Can't fire. Can't you just use the chart, Grant, here, maybe, to get yourself going? So if it's a non-artillery position, it's going to try and assault. Yeah, might be able to move into there, maybe. Not so sure though. Is that getting closer? Might be. Assault action. Well, it's closest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, I got confirmation from Martin. You know how I was leaving questions in my videos. When I talked about, say, we're looking at this tank and we're looking for closest, you know, how you decide it's going to move closer, right? That's a bad example. Let's look at this guy here. Yeah, this guy here. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away from these 2. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away from this, right? But I think it's still a bad example. What I'm saying is, we're not. If we get closer to this guy, and even if we go right up adjacent to this guy somehow, I mean, that would be impossible, I think. But it doesn't matter. These are our closest US units, so these are the ones we need to get closer to. Now, if there's more than one, we could, as long as we're getting closer to one of these 2, then that makes the action valid. You know, I think that was another thing Eric was getting wrong. He was move in, and as long as he got closer to something else, he was fine with that. But he needs to set you need to set the unit that's closest to you at the start first and concentrate on them. And Martin confirmed that was right. I was doing that right. Okay, back to this red. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away from that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. So 5. If he was to move there, 1, 2, 3, 4. So he might move there. So because it can't switch places around with this one. Japanese occupied position has US units in its field of fire. It's going to move to the unit and conduct close combat. Well, it doesn't have units in its field of fire, right? So it can't do that first part. If the Japanese occupied position has no US units in the field of fire, move the Japanese unit depth marker to position hex no more than 3 hexes away from its current position and closer to the nearest US unit. That's the same here. So its nearest US unit right now is this guy, right? We can't move closer and then end up closer to some other unit. This is the guy that matters. So we need to get closer to him. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I move to there, which is within 3 of that, that's within 3 as well, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not getting me closer. That's within 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4 is getting 1 hex closer. The unit may move into an unoccupied or US occupied position hex. Yeah, because if this was US occupied, it would move in there and then it would conduct close combat. So he's going to move to here. Green is not on the cards, so that's fine. I don't need to worry about coming back to him and thinking he's not done anything. Okay, that was a red assault action. So looking up in the mountains here though, is this artillery? It is indeed. And this is not artillery. Well, this would be looked at first. So it's going to fire and hit a circle. Where are we? Target symbol. Beach landing box, US landing beach hex, and a clear or airstrip hex. Yeah, that was the other thing I said about leaving these guys on the beach. He's a diamond, it's a circle that's getting hit, and he's a diamond as well. So it's going to be a circle and a clear hex, or clear or airstrip hex. And then it's going to be most steps, and then you choose. Most steps and you choose. Right, well, these are all in brush. These are in jungle. These are all in brush and jungle. So it's just these guys up here, isn't it? Doesn't get disrupted, but right, that's a circle. He's only 1 step. Triangle. Circle, that's 2 steps. 2 steps, 2 steps. Circle. 2 steps. Oh, please let us get away with 2 steps. It is. That's quite nice then, isn't it? I think. He's 2 steps as well. And we get to choose one of them. Okay. We do get to choose, yeah? Yeah. Most steps, you choose. Oh, it's still quite tricky. I was having a look at them there, and there's 3 of them that would be a catastrophic loss. Now, I know it's not going to end the game by me getting 1 more catastrophic loss, but I do have the opportunity to take it on this engineer. Do they keep demolitions and flamethrower? They do. Right, good. Because this guy would be a catastrophic. So would he. L35 underneath here. Yeah. Oh, for goodness sake. That's why I'm very careful about the Japanese units. The tank drops its strength, which is a bit, meh. and that's another catch. That would be another catastrophe if it was. Or this guy here would be a catastrophe if it was as well. And these are heavy weapons guys. So, what was this? Does he lose strength? Yeah, he drops his strength by 1. I think I'm going to take it on this engineer then. So I'm going to take a hit on that. I'm also going to do that because I want it known that he's taken a hit, he's taken a step loss in this Japanese fire phase. Right, hit by artillery but not disrupted, and he was in a clear or airstrip hex. Yeah, I think that worked out alright actually. Okay, so coming back here, back out again. So it was this guy here, wasn't it? So he wants to assault. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are definitely his closest, I would think. Yeah, these are his closest. So again, he's not got US units in his field of fire, so he's going to move no more than 3 hexes away and closer to his closer to the nearest US unit. So that's not getting closer. That is, so it's going to move to C3, I think. Yeah. Okay. Now he's moved in a blue position. Blue's not on the card, right? If it was, what I would like to do is probably that, just so that, you know, sometimes I get dragged away and don't come back till tomorrow maybe. You think you could easily get muddled up with that, eh? Right, empty red position. Well, these aren't considered empty because these have been checked. You do have to remember it's got to be an empty red with US units in its field of fire. You can see none of them would be in anywhere. This one up here is not either. He's going to disrupt. Well, that's fine. Well, I'll say it's fine. What else is? Oh, I tell you what, there's no yellow, there's no blue. There's no yellow or blue on the card. Oh my. Purple, there is purple, but it's just normal firing, I think. This looks pretty good. Okay. So yeah, so he'll undisrupt. And then we've got this red position here. So still looking at the red. And this would want to assault. I was just checking. No, that wasn't artillery, no. This would want to assault as well. This one's got nowhere to go though, is it? Yeah, it needs to move to an unoccupied or US occupied position hex. If it's not got US units in its field of fire. So that's going to do nothing then. Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple more reds over here. Well, technically this. Ooh, close. Keep them away from it unless you're going to do something with the counter grant. This one should be checked first before that one. So I don't think it matters here. Now hang on, is this not artillery? No, it's the purple, wasn't it? So that's good. So he wants to do the assault action as well. However, he's no US units in his field of fire. And he fires into there. And that's it. So, and he can't move closer. No. So he's doing nothing as well. And then finally, this guy, well, that's a 1, 2, 3, but it's across the water. That is a water hex, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, he's not able to move. He would get there if he could, but yeah, I mean that's just a water hex. You can't move through that. Yeah, that counts for them as well as us. So 1, 2, and that's 4 away. Yeah, so he's doing nothing as well, and he wasn't artillery. No. Okay, that went pretty well. So we've got purple now. It's just hitting. Well, it's a circle. I want to say, you know what? I want to say I moved the circle here, and it was a triangle, wasn't it? Well, that's what you get. And yeah, and it was a strange. I don't know if I was making sense with that one actually. We had this triangle, and this was a triangle, wasn't it? And I moved it, so now I've put a circle here. Right. So well, to be honest, it's only that guy that's going to get hit, then, isn't it? I think. So circle can hit armor. Yeah, tank's not a circle. Is that good? Right. Which one of these do we look at first? Does it matter? Right, hold on here. Hold on. The tank does a different thing though, doesn't it? So the tank would fire or advance. Fire if US units in the field of fire. May hit armor. May hit leader if it's a star. Yeah. If no US units in the field of fire, advance. May hit armor. The tanks get to... Or does that just mean it needs a symbol though? Or would this tank... Ooh. Sure, no, it still needs a symbol. I'm just wondering, is there... I'm just reading that on the chart. It says, may hit armor. 6.36. Armor hit bonus. I think it means it still has to have that symbol, which it does have at this time. But I thought I'd just reading that there just now. If it didn't have the armor bonus there, my thinking was because it was a tank, it could still have maybe hit this tank if it had been a triangle on the card. But I don't think that is the case. It doesn't. Like 6.36 talks about the armor hit bonus, but that's what that symbol is. It doesn't mean that gets the armor hit bonus, I don't think, because it's a tank, a Japanese tank. Don't think so anyway. Anyway, the symbol's not there, but if anybody wants to keep me right with that, just in case, I've got it wrong anyway. Now, it stretches out into here as well, but again, no circles. So, the only thing that's getting hit is that, because this is going to fire, and this is going to fire. And there's nothing in intense. Yeah, so it's, right. It's L31. No, I was forgetting. I was thinking that's a catastrophic loss. It's not. That's just a flip over, isn't it? Okay, wasn't bad as I thought then. Well, I still think taking on him. Yeah, maybe not then. Yeah, maybe that wasn't. I was thinking that was going to switch. You know, this was going to become a catastrophic loss by taking a hit. That's not the case, is it? Because that one's just done that. Oh well, never mind. Right, so he's disrupted, hit and disrupted. Actual fact, we're coming back to Brown next turn as well. Brown with the R, right. I'm going to leave that like that. He's taking a hit. Right, moving on, more purple. Right, we've got this other tank up here. And hold on. Well, none of this. This is just normal fire anyway. Yeah, and this as well. They're just firing, hitting armour. This tank will fire if it's got US units in the field of fire. It's not, so it's going to advance. We're comfortable with the fact that we can go here. Could go here though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Yeah, too far down here. So it needs to get closer to one of these two. One of these two, yeah. So moving there is going to be 1, 2, 3 away. Or 1, 2, 3, 4 away from that. Still getting closer to both of them. And moving to there is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 away. 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So you might think that would go there because it's getting closer to this one, but it's, you know, it's getting even closer to that one, but that's not what it does. So let's in fact, it's going to go to here. It's going to go to here because this is the one bit that got left intact, if you like, that I thought this is still a bit fiddly, and it's going to go here because this position is occupied, right? This position hex is not occupied, but this position is occupied. This position hex and position is not occupied, and that's why it's going to the brown position. Again, jump in please and tell me if I've got it wrong. This is tank units doing the advance. Yeah, because the priority is move to an unoccupied position, then the position closest to the tank unit's current position. So even if this was 3 hexes away, and this was only 2 hexes away, it would still prefer the unoccupied first. So it's going to move to B16. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away from that. Moves to there. 1, 2, 3, 4 away from that. It's going to move to B16. And I'm going to tilt that because brown is on the card. I don't want me thinking that brown's going to, that tank's going to do something else. So he just moves. He just advances. He doesn't fire, does he? It's not good. They're closing in a bit, aren't they? So. Right, carrying on with the purple. Nothing here, nothing here. We've got that purple, nothing here. There's this purple here, and there's that one up there. Nothing in its field of fire. Don't think there's any in that one's field of fire either. Nothing doing. So it's just going to be about this brown bit. The brown has the little nasty R on it. So the R action. This was kind of the first one to check. Now, oh no, it does. There is units in its field of fire here. This guy's already been hit though, so that might benefit us. I think he might just fire. So R, with US units in its field of fire, it's going to resupply. So it would take depth if it didn't have it, and then if none, if none, it would take depth and then fire. So it's going to fire in there. Now, it can't hit that guy again, even though he's a circle. So that's fine. That's all he's doing. And there's nobody else in his field of fire. So that worked out all right. That one looks like it's going to redeploy to here and then attempt to fire. But so brown, no US units in its field of fire. Move to an occupied position when 3x and closer to the nearest US unit. Again, yeah, I mean, it's, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It might be that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are both 7 away. He can only move 3 hexes, so he can't get up to there, can't get to there. So it's clearly B12. That's getting him closer to both of the units. And he's moved into blue, so that's fine. I'm not going to mess with him. Now he would then fire if there was US units in his field of fire, but the fire only comes down to here. Well, these blue dots are for this position. So that's him. Any more brown up in the mountains there? No. Right, moving along. Nothing here. He's done something, so I'm not going to do any with him. No brown, no brown. Let's step back. Unoccupied browns. Remember, within 3, there's none. Okay. Moving along. No brown, no brown. There's a brown here then. And there's one on the further along. So, actually, that is the one you should be doing first. So no US units field if I wants to redeploy, might move to there actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's his nearest US unit. He moves there 1, 2, 3. Indeed, he is going to go there. That's a little bit annoying. Okay, so he's moved into yellow. Yeah, we're just finishing off now anyway. And this doesn't have US units at field of fire, and it's nowhere to move to. Oh, I'll tell you what, that was a really good card, wasn't it? And no any more unoccupied brown. Remember, this has just been vacated. It's not within 3 anyway. That was really good. Nothing bothered this. Yeah, we're still going to try and disrupt these, but nothing. Now this is going to undisrupt, but I think that's fine because nothing bothered the units. Hang on. Hi all. Right, back to finish off this part 16. I never got back to things yesterday. I got dragged away then, and yeah, just things happened that didn't allow me to get back, unfortunately. So, and it was right in the middle of a good bit, wasn't it? Well, no, we're still finishing off the Japanese fire phase, and I had to remind myself we do have an event to come, but that was a really good fire phase, wasn't it? We only took... Actually, this guy got hit and disrupted from brown, I think. Or was it purple? Yeah, it would have been purple, yeah. Well, purple or brown would have hit him, but purple came first. And then this guy got hit from artillery, I think it was. And even that was just a 2-step unit that got hit, which was pretty good as well. So just to finish off the fire phase, because a couple of things I want to talk about. We can remove disruption, the cards, so red, purple and brown. Well, there's only that one unit disrupted, so he's in red, so that's going to be removed. And then this was just tilted to say that it done something I didn't want to do it again. That was tilted to say he had taken a hit, as was this down here. Now he is disrupted as well. Right. Oh no, there's a purple there as well. Almost. That's coming off too. Yeah, okay, that was pretty bad then, because we want, well, just as well we did move that tank up there, because I said that if that became undisrupted, we probably want to disrupt it again, or at least try before we move in and CC it. So that was good, moving that tank up. We didn't take the chance with that. Okay, so that's everything on the Japanese fire card. There's no artillery as well, so let me just shunt that out of the way. And then we're going to move on to the second event, which I hope's not going to spoil things here. But just before I do, let's talk about the latest issue. Well, and it was down here when we were making these barrages. And, well, apparently Hal suggested, and he thought that you couldn't make this barrage attempt. No, he's not seen the actual situation at the time. But going by my question, it was a question on BGG. My question was, well, my initial question was, hi all, can US disruption be removed as a free action at any point within the US action phase? And of course my thinking there is, while this guy's disrupted, let me zoom in a bit on that. While this guy's disrupted, he's the only one that's sitting in blue field of fire. At that time, I know this guy's here now, but at that time, oh, that's a point. I could have moved this guy. Was that blue fire in there as well? No, because that's where he was sitting. I was going to say, I could have moved that guy into blue and then conducted the barrage, couldn't I? Anyway, yeah, I could have done that. So I suppose that's a kind of out. The great thing about it was the 2 barrage attempts failed. It was the last 2 cards of the deck as well, so there was nothing more I was going to do, and it's not that I've drawn cards out of sequence or anything like that. I mean, yes, I'm going to stick with what the guys have said, although I've got a little bit, I want to say a bit more about this, because I don't think this is clear in the rules. I think as you think about it, it's probably clear, because that's what got me thinking. How can this guy spot for this while he's disrupted? Well, my question was, can US disruption be removed as a free action at any point within the US action phase? So the first thing I do with my disrupted units is I remove the disruption from them. However, that's all they can do in the turn. They can't carry out another action. However, for spotting purposes, observing is not considered an action, right? Just keep that one in mind. So think about that. So this is now not disrupted, can't do an action. Can he not spot still? I mean, I think thematically, no. That's when one of my replies I've said that. It doesn't sound like it should be allowed, but I think it needs to be made clearer in the rules. But yeah, I could have done that first. Although at the time I wasn't sure I was going to actually do that. But if I'd done that, then these barrages would have been legal. However, they came to nothing, so we got away with that. I'm glad I did, because I wanted to wait and get the follow up answer to my question, because anyway, I carry on with my question. I says, and then I link the quote. I say, is this a rule or just a suggestion? And the quote from the rule book is, wait until all other units have performed their actions before removing disruption markers from US units, so that you do not inadvertently perform other actions with those units. So, it sounds like just a suggestion, not a rule. So Martin replied, it's a suggestion, it doesn't matter when you remove them. So me removing the disruption from that right at the very beginning of the US action phase, according to what he says, is fine. And it does, I think, make it clear, because it's a free action. You can do it whenever you want. It says that in the rule book. Now, where does it say that? Because that's quite important as well, actually. Page 13, 7.1, free actions. No, hang on. US actions. During the US action phase, you may conduct actions with US units. Each turn, you may select 2 US units or stacks, each of which may conduct 1 action. In addition, certain US units meeting certain requirements may conduct actions for free. I'm looking for what it tells you can do. US units may conduct any of the following actions. Right, I definitely read that it said you can do these actions in any order you want and whatever. Conducting actions, 7.2 on the following page. Yeah, you may have your units perform actions in any order, sequencing your 2 allowed actions and your free actions as you choose. So you can do them whenever you want, in any order that you want. A given unit may perform no more than 1 action. Right, so there's nothing in there in that bit, but I suppose maybe we need to move on to the barrage part to see, like, maybe where it should be written. So anyway, that was Martin saying it's a suggestion, not a rule, so that's fine. So, and then, of course, my question really needed a bit more. I wish I had added this as well. I says, okay, and does it matter if they were disrupted at the start of the US action phase for the purpose of using them to spot for a barrage? Right. So, and this is what, the reason I'm asking this question, because it does feel a bit, should this be allowed, should it not? So, Hal chimes in, he says, it seems to me that a unit disrupted during the US action phase, hang on. Yeah, I haven't read that properly then. Yeah, you're quite correct, Hal. But this hasn't happened during the US action phase. Is that what Martin's replied to? No, because Martin's replied to, well, or has he? I'm still a little confused then, guys. Because I'm just reading that, I didn't realise Hal had worded that like that. It seems to me that a unit disrupted during the US action phase cannot spot for a barrage later in that action phase. And then I have no problem with that. I mean, if this had been disrupted in the US action phase, which is difficult to achieve, really, it can only really be disrupted if it makes an attack, can't it? But it's possible. If this unit was adjacent to this, right, and it attacked there, and it became disrupted, then yes, I get it that I couldn't then barrage. Well, to be honest, he's already attacked the target, so I couldn't barrage it anyway. But yes, if he's been disrupted then, but it wasn't. He was disrupted in the Japanese fire phase. So I'm moving into the US action phase, and I'm undisrupting him as a free action right at the beginning of the action phase. So maybe I'm picking up how wrong they are, but yeah, it looks like I have. Anyway, it says C 8.4 second bullet, page 18, and that's, we've read it so many times. That is, it tells you an undisrupted infantry and engineer unit occupies a hex in the field of fire of the target hex. This is for observing purposes, and it states they are undisrupted. Yes, I'm fine with that. I'm not. I know undisrupted units cannot spot, but what I'm trying to ask here is this guy undisrupted? Is he? Is he not allowed anymore because he's now not disrupted? So, and then it also highlights page 15, 7.6, second paragraph, which is regarding disrupted US units. And it says it is possible for a US unit to become disrupted during the US action phase as a result of crossing a cliff hex side. Well, here you go. Here's ways it can happen. A US attack or a close combat. Such a disruption may not be, well, mind you, on a close combat it would be right at the end of the turn anyway, wouldn't it? Such a disruption may not be removed from the unit in the action phase in which it was incurred, since it has already performed an action. And then to aid you in differentiating units disrupted in the action phase from units disrupted prior to the phase, US disruption markers are provided in 2 shades. And yeah, I mean, if you look at the, I mean, I don't use that ability, but it's a sort of different colour on the other side, and that's for purposes like that. I've got my own way of doing things. I turn them, tilt them 45 degrees to say that they've done something and they can't do any more that turn. But that's within the US action phase. So this guy wasn't disrupted in the US action phase, right? So it looks like Hal's picking that up there, that I've asked that, but that's not what I was asking. Admittedly, did I say any of that? Oh, hang on. Look at the way I've worded my question. I've got, and does it matter if they were disrupted at the start of the US action phase? Right, I've worded that wrong then. So I mean, Hal's clearly picking up that I've said that this guy's been disrupted at the start of the US action phase. Right, okay, I can see that. That's my bad. So maybe this isn't finished and cleared up yet because of my bad wording. Well, yeah, I mean, you're going to see the video, guys. The last part 15 when I do it, and then also this bit. So hopefully somebody can comment and straighten out for sure. Yeah, I can see that now. Sorry, damn. And Hal's follow-up comment was that would also apply to US units disrupted during the Japanese fire phase as well. All US actions. Well, no, hold on. Here we go. Now, so maybe he is also saying that would also apply to US units disrupted during the Japanese fire phase as well, right? And this is where I don't think. Well, I certainly don't think it's clear in the rules. What he then says is, and this looks like it's came out of the rule book, and if it has, then just point me to that spot, and I'm good. But he's not suggesting this is in the rules, but what he says is all US actions need to be completed, including barrage, before the disrupted marker is removed. Therefore, a US unit cannot spot if it was disrupted before the barrage. And he has got then my take. But so that bit that he's just quoted there, I don't think is in the rules. If that was in the rules, it would make everything quite clear. And that's all that needs to be there. And that's why I think there should be something there that states at the start, you know, if a unit's disrupted at the beginning of, in the Japanese fire phase, then, you know, it can't, because spotting is a free action, as it doesn't count as an action. That, you can see where the confusion is there. So, Eddie says, however, I rotate the counter of any units to take a free action prevent me using it a second time. Well, you can see that I do that. I tilt my units when I've had an action. So, and then Martin confirms, he says, yes, as Harold points out above, disrupted units can't spot. Now, I understand disrupted units can't spot. Is this disrupted at the time I'm trying to... Is it still considered in a disrupted state at the time I'm trying to use it to spot? So my reply is, well, another answer I wasn't expecting. I understand that if you think about it thematically, this shouldn't be allowed, but I have to say that rules as written, this is not that clear. And then, if this quote from Hal was in the rulebook, then it would make it quite clear, and that's a quote that I just said, that all US actions need to be completed, including barrage, before the disrupted marker is removed. And if this is in the rulebook, then please show me where, so that I can just go and look there, and then that's fine. The fact that the disruption can be removed at any time within the US action phase, and that also this is considered a free action, suggests to me that spotting for barrage purposes should be allowed. The way it's worded in the rules then suggests that, that something needs to be added to the rules to make it clear that it's... And I'm not sure this is just a me thing. It might be. They do come up quite a lot. And then I highlight the quote, observing is not considered an action. And that's in the rule book. Observing is not considered an action. So, like I say, not clear to me anyway in the rules. However, I do think the intention is, as you guys suggest, and we'll play it that way. So, I'm going to carry on playing it that way, but I'm still a little unsure if, because I worded things the way I've worded them, that there might be some confusion. Although the second comment from Hal suggests that he still believes that this shouldn't have been able to spot, I think. Like I say, he's not commenting on the actual situation, just commenting on the questions that I was asking. So we'll see if any more comes to that, but for now, I will treat it that if a unit is disrupted, we move into the US action phase. If he's the only one that could do the spotting at that time, then I won't do it unless somebody tells me otherwise. However, I will keep in mind that I could move units into a hex that's in the field of fire to then be able to use them for spotting purposes. Okay, right, back to the game. Right, okay, so we've got a second event to come. So let's, like I say, I hope this doesn't spoil things. We are on turn 10. So second event, here we go. And it's a reinforcement. Now that is probably one of the worst things. Well, actually, I'm looking around. There's nothing that we've left just close by. And to be honest, if this had built depth, that would have been bad. So maybe I'm jumping the gun there. I mean, it's not good. Place one Japanese reinforcement unit. But I don't think it's popping up into a spot that, I could see it maybe appear in here, maybe, or here. Like I say, it's not good, but it's not going to appear down here anywhere. There's no... That's only vacant. Well, it's possible, I suppose. Right, yeah, and I think maybe I would have preferred that than this building depth, shall we say. Because I think I have to go for the green one here. And I wish now I took a chance and moved into here. But now hold on, no, I couldn't, could I? The only thing I could have moved into here was what was in here. And that was that. So yeah, that's true. Because I couldn't have moved round. Because we didn't disrupt all this, I couldn't move through that hex into there. Because it's intense blue. But I mean, my hope here is, this guy's not disrupted this time. My hope here is that we're hopefully going to have a better shot at barraging these two down. I mean, okay, I still have the naval gunfire, so I've actually got I'm going to have 3 shots at it. One of the annoying things was that if I had known that I couldn't carry out that barrage, more than likely would have moved the tank, but I can't go back and do that now because it was in Blue's field of fire and things had moved on. So not just that, I think I would have moved. Well, mind you, if I'd moved that tank into there, these wouldn't be there. Because I could have moved it in beside the hero, but I decided to move the hero on, move that up, and then move that in there. So I probably wouldn't have been moving that tank. But anyway, that's my bad for. Well, yeah, it's. I couldn't wait anymore to find the answer that I was wanting, so I had to carry on with the game. Like I say, fortunately we didn't hit with the 2 cards. However, if we had, I might have been able to reverse that anyway, because these are revealed, so it would have just been disruption markers on top of them. So, although then I probably wouldn't have moved into position, wouldn't I? Yeah. Okay. Well, it didn't happen anyway. So what am I doing? Yeah, so I think this hero's probably got to attack there. So if he had depth, that would be worse, because he can only attack. Actually, that tank could assist, couldn't it? But you really want to barrage these down. Right, come on, Grant, let's get the reinforcement unit. So 9.3. Trigger by a reinforcement event. Draw a Japanese reserve unit at random. Place the unit face down with a depth marker at an empty Japanese position in communication. Empty Japanese position hex in communication. Select the specific position hex using the following priorities. Right, well, let's get a Japanese now. Well, that's the first time I've done this, actually, isn't it? So there's a depth marker from. And we'll grab that one there. So that and that. Let's just keep them separate now. So the priorities are a position hex adjacent to a US unit. Placing the hex with the lowest position number of 2 or more adjacent. Right, well, that's what I was saying. I don't think there's not any empty positions that are adjacent to any of our units, is there? No, remember, these are garrison, that's... No. No, there's nothing. So the next one down is... You got to be careful with this, by the way. I've seen... I want to say, I think maybe... Well, it could only be an Eric's playthrough. That's the only one I've been watching recently, that he might have jumped the gun with this one a little bit as well. Because the next priority is a position hex within 2 hexes of a US unit. Placing the hex with the lowest position number of 2 or more qualify. So within 2... No, this is... already got something... yeah, there's nothing within 2. This is within. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 away, for instance. This counts. This is an empty position hex. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's nothing within 2, and that's where you can sometimes now get. So, yeah, I get the feeling Eric might have done this, because you then start thinking, well, it's got to be the closest one. So it's got to be, well, actually this one's 1, 2, 3 away, isn't it? So that would be the closest. So some people might jump in and say that's what, but it's not, because the next priority is the hex with the lowest position number. That's right, isn't it? I mean, that seems... See, it doesn't carry on. It doesn't carry on by saying the nearest, you know, it just says adjacent and then within 2 hexes, and then it doesn't say after that the nearest. It doesn't say 3 hexes away. So yeah, I think it's right. It feels a bit weird, but 9.3 no. No, it's not in there, rat or anything there. Might just go and have a quick look at this, because like I said, the next priority is the hex with the lowest position number, and then the last priority is the hex with the lowest position letter. So what that then means is you're not looking at the who's closest to, you're looking at the lowest number. So and then it'd be the lowest letter. I mean, there's C1 for instance there, so that's the lowest number. But is there a B1 or is there an A1? Because it would come down to the lowest letter. There's D1 away up there. I mean, it could go there, but well, C1's going to take priority there. B1 and A1, I imagine, are already taken then, are they? So that's A11. B13, B15. Yeah, I mean, that's all the C's and the D's up there, isn't it? And these are high B's. So yeah, I actually think it's going to go in C1 then. And you can see that C1 this is closer to US units than what C1 is. But that's where I think it's going. Yeah, I'm just going to have a little glance on BGG for that, I think. Then it's quite clear in the rules. I mean, it doesn't sort of say the next closest position, you know. Yeah, I had a wee quick look, and somebody asked a question, because looking at the priorities for reinforcements, could it be that if everything else was covered, D5 could be selected as the reinforcement placement, and you know, if that was the lowest number, and lowest letter, for instance, and yeah, Martin came back replying saying it's very unlikely, but yeah, it could happen. He says, however, if that is occupied, if that is the lowest one, then it means some of these other ones are occupied. And his comment was, by that time you're probably lost. But also, I mean, when it's in D5, it's going to start moving. It's going to start redeploying, whatever. But that proves that I'm got that right. So that is going to go as C1. So depth marker. Right, I need to go and do something. Let me put this in first. So C1, that was unit, because I thought if I leave that line there with depth in there, and that's reinforcement event. That was second event phase. We're moving on to the HQ phase. Right, I'm just need to take a short break. Right, that's me back. Now, I just realised I had about 25 minutes, didn't I? I'm as well probably cutting this, because this is the second half of this, isn't it? Right. I'm as well just doing the US HQ phase here, and then starting a new part for the US action phase again, I think. Okay, so HQ phase. So garrisons first. Well, this is at a 2 now, so I will be able to garrison this hex. Right, sorry. Okay, so garrison here. We've got a unit in position. It's within command range of 2, and it can trace communication back to the beach. So yes, all good. So that's now going to allow that guy to move on. Now, we did contemplate. Well, hang on though, Grant. Is there any? Well, there can't be any more garrisoning, because you've only got that one command post. So, are you? See, if we take this down now, then the only thing it's going to command in the US action phase is that. Now, these are all okay. These would not be okay. Well, I suppose, yeah, let's have a look at this situation. Well, we had no grief at all here, so we should be able to take this out, because we know all about it. I mean, to be honest, we need 4 strength and just flanking it. Well, flanking it with a flamethrower. We want to take them both out, so 4 strength. Is that guy underneath? And this flamethrower, is there not a better way of doing it? Well, yes, you could use some of this, but then that's going to be a paid for action, and you have to be careful with the actions, because I'm pretty sure we're going to need one for this tank. Oh, James, and one for this. Yeah. So I think that's where your two actions are. This turn. So I think I'd like to lift this, so if I can. I mean, there's no need for paid actions down here. And if I don't lift this, the only thing that's not getting a free action is this. But I don't need to. I mean, you can see I can attack with that, C15, and this HQ. I suppose I was trying to get the flamethrower. Suppose I was thinking about keeping that together with that and being able to maybe move. But then what are you going to do next, Grant? You're going to take the red position, but I'm not ready to head off and do other things. This blue tank and this brown tank are stopping me from any shenanigans going through there. Because blue intense there, brown intense there. We cannot just go streaming through there. So I get the feeling we're just going to sit here just now, and because there is a good chance that these tanks are going to come and get us. And again, maybe he should be. He's not got depth, that one, is he? You're moving up in an intense blue to do that, and am I not right in saying, yeah, see, this is an intense blue as well. So it's again, you've got to get through this, then get through that, and then get at him. So yeah, well, yeah, but it's the same going for these. This is intense yellow, and this is intense yellow. This is intense brown, this is intense brown. You just got to hobble your way through there, really, haven't you, and hope for the best. So I don't think I'm going to head off anywhere. So maybe I can lift it. The fact that these aren't going to get an action, yeah, that's a stumbling block. Damn it. Because I really need that for that, don't I? I want to barrage that before we go in. That's not going to get an action. A free action. If I lift that. Okay, I think I'll leave it then. Again, because I'm not moving, is there a rush? I can lift it next turn, hopefully. Maybe, yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to lift it. I'm going to leave that. And I'm not going to plant, well, I can't plant that one. And I maybe could with this one now. Oh, yeah. No, I moved that up there to be able to do that so that we can maybe... Yeah, I think I'm going to put that one down. So 7-1 is going to flip over. Now, hold on. That's fine. It's in brown and purple, which we both control. And does it need to trace communication as well? Well, if it does, it's fine. I can trace into that hex. Can't trace into that hex, but I can trace into that hex and then onto the beach. So we establish a new command post there, 7-1, and put him on the track. And then we increase anybody that was there this turn, so that goes up to still just 2, but just feel the need to have a quick look at establishing a command post. That is not in the potential field of fire in any Japanese position. Well, it wasn't. And potential is a position X maybe empty that could be reinforced. So that was not the case. Yeah. Doesn't mention US communication there actually, but so that's fine. Okay, so that's good. That's us done with the HQ phase then, isn't it? yeah, we've done our garrisons, we've done our HQ stuff. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna cut the video there, and well, I will actually start copying this bit across. I think we're gonna come back to the US action phase, which I should be looking forward to because there's things that we can do. Although, just that bit about the actions, once you start moving a bit further forward, you're not all gathered round your HQ. Okay, I'll be back with the next part quite soon. Cheers.